Hello and thank you for joining us today on the Legacy brand coin ring tool channel. My name is Gary and today we're taking a look at the mini Swedish Wrap die by Legacy. This die is smaller than your regular Swedish Wrap set to perform things like small bell domes for quarters as well as very small coin rings. Let's get started. The mini Swedish Wrap die by Legacy is made from 17-4 stainless steel. It is laser engraved on the side with the sizes on it. The top is 0.95 inches and the bottom is 0.56 inches where coins can be fully extruded. This die was designed to be used with the 3 smallest brass push rods out of the brass push rod set that Legacy sells. This 3-piece set here, which is an option to buy, you can either buy the die by itself or you can buy the die with the push rods if you don't happen to have those. Anyway, the larger of the 3 rods allows you to press from the top down to the smallest one, which allows you to fully extrude all the way out the bottom to make things like small quarter domes and also to reduce things like quarters down to very small size coin rings. Alright, well let's get started and make ourselves a quarter dome. Before I begin doing that, I'm going to show you a couple things here. I use cotton rounds. These cotton rounds are cotton makeup rounds. I use those to protect the detail on the outside of my coins. I also use Blue Monster Teflon tape. Blue Monster Teflon tape is heavier than the white Teflon tape, and it does help to keep the detail of your coins as you press them down through a Swedish Wrap die. Many of you also use things like black tape or tape like so to protect the details. Myself, I like to use Teflon tape as well as cotton rounds. Alright, let's get started making a bell top and see how this thing works. At this point I have domed my quarter, and in doing so I use the doming tool, which uses these pins like so with a lid that goes over your die. The quarter uses the 1.0 die, 17 degree, and I have domed this quarter to this kind of shape right here. So now this dome is ready to go into my Swedish Wrap die. You would also do the same thing for larger coins with the larger Swedish Wrap dies. So in this case, I happen to use a quarter. You take your push rods, and out of the largest one in your 3-piece push rod set, make sure that you have lined these up. Always do this on your Swedish Wrap dies. Line these up so that you have plenty of surface area on top of this, so you don't slip down inside like so. You want to be able to sit flat on there. So in this case, I would use the smaller rod on this one as it lines up very well on top. Prior to doing anything, I always line these up. So let's go ahead and get started pushing this down. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my coconut oil out, lubricate up the inside of my mini Swedish Wrap die. Reaching over like this, I'm actually using my paper towel. Coconut oil does get on things. Anyway, take my die, place a cotton round on top, like so. Take my little dome, press it down inside. Let's turn it this direction. I like the smooth side to be against my coin. Line it up like that on top. And I'm going to take my push rod, the one I lined up a while ago, and I'm going to lay it on top and start to press down. Like so. Make sure it's sitting flat on there on your cotton round like that. Now let's take it over to the press and give it a press. Let's take a look and see how far we've gone so far. Okay, we cut a nice perfect circle out of there because we hit the outside. It's beginning to go down. I can no longer go anymore with this rod as I've hit the outer wall. That's why I cut this like it did. So now I'm ready to go to the next step down, which is the larger one on the next push rod. So what I'm going to do, take another cotton round, place it on top, smooth side up for me, place it on top, press it like so. It's still square on top, and you want to watch your bottom. You don't want to come out the bottom yet. Anyway, press down. And one thing that's nice is whenever you use your 1 inch to dome your quarter with, It also works as a stand for when you extrude. So place it on your press and press down. I pressed down until I got solid. I'm going to remove this now and see what we get. I'm all the way to the bottom as I've hit my brass rod on the outer wall just a little bit. My dome is getting closer to the bottom, and it did get firmer when doing that. So I'm going to press it out. I just pushed it with my finger there, and it looks like this. Little dome so far, getting there. So what I'm going to do now is take the cotton round off. It's getting there to be a little bit smaller dome. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to anneal it real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I've just annealed my quarter. It is now soft again. I heated it up to a dull red and quenched it in water. And now it's ready to be reduced further. So what I'm going to do, first of all, get some coconut oil. Let's lubricate the inside of this really smooth die. Get it nice and oiled up. And then I'm going to line my push rod up again. That's the one I just finished with. So I'm going to go to my next smaller one, which sits on there very well. It's a little bit larger, but my push rod's not going to turn whenever I go to push this down. So let's put it in here like so. I'm going to push it on top like that. I'm going to use my push rod this time and just push it straight down. Just like that. Now it's ready to go back in the press. So, put all this in the press. I'm using the 1-ton Harbor Freight arbor press. Press down on it. Okay. And at this point, I'm not all the way down with this push rod yet. I've not hit the bottom. This has not hit that wall yet. So I need to press just a little bit farther. Don't stop at this point or you're not going to reduce it down to the next step. So what I need to do is check my bottom, make sure that you're not going through the bottom yet. If you are, make sure that you're on top of your die like this. Okay, I'm going to put it back in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the, either one of these rods, I'll put the larger rod on top. And I'm going to press on down until I do hit the bottom. Like so. Now my rod is on the bottom. Now it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get that out of there, so let's press real hard. If you can't get it to press out, like it's tough like that, which I want it to stick, I'm going to go to this folding die that I used as a stand, and also I used to dome with. I'm going to go to the larger side, place my die on there like so, and wouldn't you believe it just fell right out of there. But anyway, that one came out, and my coin is still stuck in there. I'm going to lay it on here. Put it on top like this and use the smallest rod, put it on top and give it a slight press like so. It's going to come out of there flying out of there like so, and I have more of a dome. At this point what I need to do is wrap it. Okay, back from anneal. My coin is now soft because I heated it to a dull red and quenched it in water again. Do this just before you extrude. Again, make sure you do this a couple times throughout the process. Okay, I'm going to take my blue monster. And it's a little difficult to do this, but you wrap your coin just a little bit around the outside. Wrap a little bit around the outside. There's 2, 3, let's go about 5 wraps or so with this. Alright. Tuck it on the inside, and it looks like that. Little blue monster. Wrap it up. That protects this outer side where it's going to be rubbing on the wall. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier. I lubricated the inside of my die. We'll put just a little bit more. A little coconut oil in there. And I'm going to take one of my cotton rounds. I like the smooth side up. Press it like this. Now the last rod I pressed down with was this one. So I'm going to press it down in there. This is the next to smallest rod right there. Press down on top. Press it down in there. And I'm going to place it on my press. grab my next size larger one. Either one of these rods will work fine. Press it on down until it stops. And then it's starting to extrude. So now I need to get to the other side. You can tap it, it'll come out like so. And it's starting to extrude, so what I need to do now is use the smallest end of this die, this push rod, to run down through that die. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay it back on top of here so it can extrude out. I'm going to grab one more cotton round, place it on top, smooth side, go all the way down in there with it, place my next size rod on top, and I'm going to go all the way through this time. Just like so. Get it squared up, everything's centered on the bottom so it can extrude out the bottom. Press it down, and let's see what we have. We have our tiny bell dome, just like so. Now of course you got to get the other rod out that's stuck in there, so we can just simply put it on our press, push down a little bit, and it'll push right out. Ready for the next time. Little mini bell dome for the top of a skirt to make a bell, like so.